To Realfire videos. In this video, we're going to talk about Formula Playground. That's one of the features released as part of Realfire version 4.0. So this particular feature is available for free, the Enterprise and Essential and all the editions. To access the feature, go click on the Tools and the Formula Playground. So this particular dialog, if it is a little bit smaller in your system, you could resize by dragging and dropping the edges, or you could maximize it completely if you to fill the screen with this particular maximize button in the Mac and appropriate button in the Windows as well. So the playground consists of three different sections. We have an input section, we have a formula section, and we have an output section. The input section is where you're going to feed the value into the formula, and this actual formula that you would want to execute, and it will show what is the output of that particular formula execution is with that particular input. If there is any error, the formula output value will be then highlighted with a light red color, and if it is successful, it's going to be highlighted with you know light green color. So you get the idea the formula has been successful or formula has been errored out. So in the input section, we have input field, the type and the value. So the type is the data type of the value that we're feeding into the formula. So let's say sometimes the records read from SFDC that you want to apply formula to is actually of type data type of date. Then if you want to simulate that, you can specify the type is the date and specify that date conversion or the date value, and the formula will convert that into appropriate data type before feeding into the formula so that it can use that particular value appropriate functions within that. The field name is the particular name of the field where this formula is actually applied to. So here, for example, we have this particular, the record. For example, let's say contact record contains two different records. So, and formula is executed at individual field level. So for every field, you could specify the formula either in the data loader or in the other places. And when the formula executes, it has an understanding of which particular field that is running at, and what is the value of that particular field, and what is a record that particular field is part of. So you have access to all the three things that you want to use it to construct or transform the value or create a new value, if you will. For example, let's say we wanna try out some formula at the email field. So in this case, we're just gonna type email here. So we have an input type as a string, and we're gonna type whatever the value that's available in this particular record. For example, Jando. So now here we're gonna type the formulas, and the simple formula that you can type is actually the value. So it's nothing but it takes the value and returns the value as is. So you see that the the output value is highlighted in light green, and it shows its formula successfully executed, and it is showing the actual value output of that particular execution. But if there is an error in the formula, it will be highlighted in a little bit light red color, and it shows what is the error with that particular formula. So the error messages can be a little bit cryptic at times if you are not used to the formulas and those kind of execution, but you can make them out. In this case, we don't have the property called value to within the context. So the valid values are the value, the record, and the field. So if you type field, it will actually get the internal representation of the field, or you can type the formula. It gives you the whole formula that you have here, the record or the value, what is the value that you are dealing with. So let's say we want to take this particular formula and we wanna apply some formulas. Let's try abbreviate to 5 characters. So it takes the value and it try to abbreviate the output into this particular value. And this being the value function, and we can keep concatenating or adding more functions on top of that. For example, let's say you want to split by dot. So then it's gonna split by this ones, and it's gonna combine that, and it's gonna give you. Or if you wanna split by letter O, so it has two different sections. One is a J and the rest of them, and because it's a collection of values at the end of it, it's gonna join them using semicolon, and it gives the value. Okay. So you can keep applying more functions like this. For example, let's say you want to apply uppercase on that, and you know that this particular value, so it's been uppercased. So you can remove them as well, and you can see more clearly too. So you can change the data type of this particular input field. For example, let's say you are trying to, uh, you know, uh, interact with some number date field. Let's add a date of birth. Okay, so 2017, 1975, 0101, or 1980. 0101. Assume that hey, this is the date field that we're interacting with. So you can specify the type as date and specify the so so here you can say value. It shows us a date that's converted and it's returning the value as is. And you can apply the functions appropriate for the date. For example, let's say age. When I calculate, it actually gives you the number of the days since that particular one. So you can specify um, the years. If you want to calculate the age in the years, you can specify. Or if you want to calculate age against different date and time, reference date and time, you can do that too. But you get the idea. So you can change the input type, and you can apply the value, the functions on top of it, and see the value. And sometimes you want to access other fields of the record. For example, let's say you want to create a new value for a name based on the the last name and the first name. Assume that you're writing the formula for a name field, which is of course the string. You want to access, there's a blank value, but you want to access the first name and the last name and concatenate it and create a value for the name. So to access other values in the record, so you can start with the record, and you can say whatever the name that you have, and you can say so this way you can use other values within the record to add them, to combine them with other values within the record to and create a new value that you can assign to a different field. So you have the full capability however you wanna manipulate the values. So these formulas will not have access to other records. So it will have access to the field which they are interacting with, or they will have access to the value at which the formula is being executed, and they will have access to the record to which that particular the field belongs to. So you can use any of these three to construct a new value or transform a value. So here, if you click on the edit record, here you can specify what are the different values that you want to specify for the record. So, and it's going to use these values when you specify here. For example, here, if you want to, let's say you want to delete this, okay. Let's say you want to delete this. So here, so now it's going to be let's execute that. So you get a John null because we don't have a last name in the record right now. We just have the first name, and that's where you can add more formulas to convert the null into a blank field. For example, first not blank. You can specify the record, no last name, right? So you get that. If you want to make it this way. Um, Okay, first not blank. Okay, so first not blank. Okay, so you get this. Then you can trim this value to if you want. Okay, so this is a formula playground, and when you close this formula playground and come back to it again, the previously enter the records as well as the details will be retained so that you can continue experimenting from where you were left off. So we don't have any history for this particular formula. Let's say you erase this particular formula and you close it, and the history is gone unless within the same section maybe you can try to undo it, but it doesn't retain that. So if you are experimenting with a formula that you want to really use it, make sure you keep that copy somewhere else in a text file or something before using it. Okay. So this is about formula playground. So we have another video where you're going to talk about the formulas themselves and how to see the list of formulas available and understand what they really do. Go through it and post us questions if you have. Thank you for watching it.